Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing for sound 1, 2, 3.
Okay, either DLive shut us down, or they had some type of maintenance going on. I have no idea what happened. But that was very, very weird.
Indeed.
I didn't see any scheduled maintenance notice. Anyways, just YouTube and Periscope and Facebook, the platforms we dislike the most. I would use DTube, but DTube has its own issues right now. I don't know, man. I just don't know. Anyways, now it's an open topic. Anything goes. You don't have to go and start talking about the hypocrisy of everything. We could have kept going, I think. There's just a lot. But I think the main points we got.
Yeah. Especially what you talked about. You expressed it very poignantly.
I hope so.
Yeah, we did. But I mean, I'm at the point now where I don't associate with teams like that. I don't consider myself left or right. I mean, I never consider myself Republican, Democrat, or whatever. I was always independent,
non-affiliated, whatever you want to call it.
Non-affiliated, yeah. I'm against totalitarianism. I'm against things that will hurt people, will hurt me, my family, my loved ones, everybody in the country, everybody in the world. And I support things that would help.
Oh, Shirley can actually talk on Facebook.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I guess she joined on Facebook. I put it public so people who want to go on Facebook, they can talk there.
Ah, okay, that's cool.
So I guess I can go ahead and do that too. That way,
sure. I support things that would help. Yeah. It's interesting, man. But this movement has given me a lot of new perspective, like how the quote unquote left sees the establishment as being like these fascists, alt-right, totalitarianism, whatnot. And then you have some people on the quote unquote right who see the establishment, the deep state, as these like evil socialist commies and the left, far left, and whatnot. But I mean, like, the people that we associate as being establishment, the corporatists, the deep state, what we're really talking about is just evil people, totalitarians. I think that's, I agree with Gardner. Gardner made that point one night. That's beyond the spectrum. That's beyond left or right. You're talking about oppression. You're talking about 1984 negative utopias. We're talking about slavery.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
The form of slavery. Slavery isn't just putting chains on someone and doing whatever you want to them. Slavery can be in many forms and small forms. Mm-hmm. I mean, all it is basically a person isn't able to do what they want to do because another person is forcing them not to. Mm-hmm. Giving them a choice. Like, people give choices, slaves choices back in the day where like they were shackled and whatnot. It's like, hey, do you want the butcher knife or do you want the red hot poker? Which torture do you want? You're a free slave. You get to choose whatever torture we allow for you. Hey, that's still choice, right? But they're not free to choose what they want. They're forced to choose between the options that are provided for them. And if they don't do it, they're in a worse off position. If there can be a worse off position than slavery.
Yeah, man. I think that sounds very familiar. Are you talking about how we have only two major parties here? And it's like choosing between gonorrhea and herpes?
I think depends on the type of herpes. I don't know. I've never had.
I've never had it either,
Yeah.
thankfully.
Um. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's bad.
it's bad, man.
Bad. Surely you gotta come on, especially your with your husband.
Mm.
Yeah, Shirley. Kavanaugh's distraction with the Israel soldiers killed 7 Palestinians and injuring 509 on Friday. Today, U.S. soldiers just killed 10 children in Afghanistan, and Pence giving a warning to Venezuela.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's theater. It's entertainment. Look, part of the hypocrisy again. When you have these commentators at any point in time saying that what the leaders are doing are a good thing, they don't understand the entire truth of it, or that the freedoms that you have are bad and evil. They're not telling you what you need to hear. They're telling you what you want to hear, so you feel safe from the fear that's propagated by the controllers. I mean, that's all it is. It's just fear. And once you get over fear, you're like, huh, why was I afraid of that? It's like, I mean, are you afraid, Christian? I don't think you're afraid. I mean, Christian's out of our New Jersey, Ebon Kim, Columbus, Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
We're right here. We'll say whatever the fuck we want, and we'll say it loud, and we'll keep saying it. And you think that's dangerous? Man, you haven't seen dangerous yet.
I think it would be more dangerous if I were anonymous and I was doing and saying the things I'm saying and doing. I think I was watching Susie. I'm sorry, I'm talking about mouthful. Hold on.
Just move your camera up so we don't see your mouth moving. It'll be like this, so we can hear you, and we won't need to see the food in your mouth.
I do like a Bruce Lee.
Yeah. You know, my cheeks are getting quite chubby. I think I've been gaining a little bit of weight. I think the sickness hasn't been helping. I need to get out there and start exercising.
How's your workout routine been going, by the way?
It hasn't.
Up in this island?
It hasn't. I mean, look, I used to have like muscles, like no definition at all. I mean, it's still hard. I have no definition. I mean, I need to work out a lot more. But you know, I'm working out here and here. You know, I just haven't been able to work out here. I think I'll get there a little bit more.
Yeah, I hear you.
I think I finally found the final part of my little pull-up bar thing, so that'll help. I'll be able to do my bar dips, pull-ups, and leg lifts. But basically, sit-ups and push-ups and sit-ups are all I've got going. Punching tires. I show you. You saw that video. I just have a bunch of tires stacked up and things like that. Cool. I think it'll be great once my kids start getting older because they like to run. I like to run with them, and if they start running cross country or they start running sprints, I'll start running with them. And I'll lose the gut, and it's pretty easy to do. And I think I was eating good for a while, then I started slacking again and eating bad, and I just need to eat good again. Because all I do is just research, read, write, computer stuff, kids stuff, fishing. Hunting will be good. The only thing with hunting these days is it's more you wait for the animal to come to you and you shoot it with a gun.
Line weight.
Yeah. I mean, because your chances of success are just much better because you don't really have time to go hunting every day as much as you'd like, unless you're fully out of the system. Then maybe, but then I don't know. Still, let's see. Shirley says the American public is oblivious to it. It is disgusting. I'm scared for a third world war, and we will lose. Yeah, third world. Every world war, the most powerful country falls. It's true.
Yeah.
So Actually,
What?
maybe not even most. Almost every country falls except for maybe a few. I
Hmm.
mean, wars are costly, not just with human lives, but of economic,
Resources.
yeah, resources. Oh, but
I
yeah,
could
it's
I could
just.
recommend you an app that you could use that generates random workouts just for your abs,
Oh,
but I use it every
oh, I
day.
used to. Don't. If I get into the workout routine, I get into it, and that's almost all I do. It's almost a thing, or it's like I used to work out. You know how Arnold Schwarzenegger said he'd work out 4 hours a day. Heck,
Mm-hmm.
there are days where I'd work out like 6 to 8 hours a day. Like
Wow.
work out, go do my
Nice.
thing, work out, go do my thing, work out. And it would just be, I was in supremo shape. If I was doing YouTube videos back then, when I was in super shape, I'd have probably like 1 million subs. All I would do is just show workout routines, and me doing like one arm pull-ups and just
Nice.
amazing feats of strength, whatever. And then
That was
I
when you were in the military, right?
um there's once before the military, kind
Hmm.
of a little. I wasn't at my peak during high school, but that's where I started seeing how I could build my body the way I wanted to build it.
Hmm.
But during the military is when I had a lot of time. Is that
Yeah.
was that wasn't my peak either. That was, I mean, that was when I was like 22 and stuff, and that wasn't my peak. I was able to do like 6 1 arm pull-ups
Wow.
and run a lot, but I still didn't consider myself at my peak. I think that my peak was when I think I was almost getting to my 30s,
Hmm.
and I had a big gut. I had flabby man boobs like I do now, and because I was at Microsoft sitting working, 8 to 10 hours a day, maybe even 12-hour days, with overtime, and just they give you free beverages. So I'm drinking soft drinks, I'm drinking fruit drinks, I'm drinking milk, coffee, tea, whatever. Just a lot of sugary liquids to get going. And my commute during rush hour traffic from Redmond to Seattle was like 2.5, 3 hours. So what I would do is right after work, I would just go to the gym. It was a Gold's Gym, and I'd work for 2.5 hours, and then I'd go home, and it would only take me 15 minutes to go home because there's no traffic at all. And then I would, do my thing. But I think that once I got going there, I started reaching my peak. I got up to doing the 1 arm pull-ups again, and then excuse me. Um, and I just felt stronger than I was when I was in the military, and I had all that time to myself. But then things slacked down. I haven't gotten to the point where anywhere close to that in a long, long time, over a decade. So, do I think I'm gonna get to that point again? I doubt it. I would love to be able to do at least 5 1 arm pull-ups. And I'm not talking about the 1 arm pull-ups where you're doing this. I'm talking about 1 arm pull-up, pull over your chin, there, just on each arm. And it's hard because back then when I was able to do that, I was 155 pounds. Now I'm like 195 pounds. So either I have to slim down, or I just got to start wearing heavier backpacks. Because that's all I would do is I would work out with a backpack that had
Yeah.
like, it's probably like a 45 to 50 pound backpack.
Hmm.
Let's just work out on it. They do push-ups with it, sit-ups with it, pull-ups with it,
Hmm.
and that's all I would do. I wouldn't even do weights. I just do just
Calisthenics.
calisthenics.
Hmm. Yeah, military style.
Yeah, and but I would just increase, uh, do natural motions that you would do every day, but with added weight. I had something. I want to get to that point, but I never used it. But there's like a weighted vest. All it did was sit around, because as you get older, your body just doesn't heal as much anymore. So I'd wear this weighted vest, trying to like jog, and you're like, oh, you know, it's so hard. Everything feels like it's slow motion. You know, you've got the weighted vest. It's 45 pounds distributed, and I've got like additional 20 pounds of weight on my thighs, and I'm like, ah. After you do that once, you're like, I'm done. I'm not gonna use these weighted vests anymore. But I think if I you know, put my full efforts into it, I would do it. But that's the thing, is it's not important. I mean, physical health is important, but it's not the most important thing right now. It's the mind and brain, heart and soul, whatever you want to call it. Dichotomy that I need to strengthen a little bit more, because it's a long haul. And you know what? If you straighten those up, you're gonna be focused and motivated to keep up anything that you want to do physically. So I mean, it's all mental. You know how people say it's all mental. Whether you're doing a marathon, you're doing some type of sport, and or a workout routine, you keep going. It's
or sex,
or that. Well, I don't know. Yeah. So for anything sex related, Christian has the answers to it. I have a pretty good idea. He probably does. You know, all the like, you probably have a black book full of numbers from all your outings with your protest sessions. You're like, you could hit any random one, and it'd be like the hottest person from like the entire state. It's like, oh, Christian, you're that protester. Oh, I'll be right there.
But going, what you were saying?
Oh, I forget.
Physical activities.
Oh yeah. So basically, it's all mental. As long as you can keep your focus, you don't give up. That's the other thing. If you can get to the point where you don't give up, and it's like, no matter what, just do it for 10 more seconds. 10 more seconds after that, you all right. I was able to do it for 10 more seconds. Do it for another 10 more seconds.
Yeah.
And keep going. It's like, okay, I could do another 10 seconds. It's like, all right, another 10 seconds until your arms are so jelly, or your legs are so jelly that you're just gone. But then you got to make sure you take your time to rest. If you want to build your body so it's stronger and it heals. But here's another thing. If you want to train your body to overcome stamina or endurance limitations, is you got to train your body to keep going when it's not fully healed. I think a lot of people just train. I'm not sure if it's a military thing or something else, but a lot of people just train so they have a strong body, right? They're whatever sport that they're doing, they strengthen their body, but they don't train their body to because you want to take care of your body. That's the thing. Because if you keep working out when you don't get a lot of rest, your body is not going to heal. It's going to probably even get worse. But the thing is, you're also training your body and your mind to continue going at a level when your body isn't ready for it, isn't able to, and therefore, when a situation comes up, you're able to overcome it just based on that. And I think that's what a lot of military try to do. A little military, like Navy SEALs and things like that, is
perseverance.
Yeah, is they don't let your body heal. They keep you going, and just make sure that you don't break down mentally and physically, that you're able to handle all that stuff. That's where a lot of strength comes in. Like you see some people is like, they don't look very strong. They don't look very like they could run for miles, but you just see them keep going. Like, I don't see how that person does it. It's just because of that incredible focus that who's that guy?
What's this? What's this about?
There's a movie by the guy from Matrix. I don't know why I can't remember.
Keanu Reeves.
John Wick.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. It's like a man of incredible focus. Baba Mushka, whatever.
Oh,
The boogeyman, the way they say it in Russian.
Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga, there you go. Oh man,
yeah,
you got better. Man, my movie remembrance skills are horrible these days. All right, Shirley, I want to say the stuff that she says. All right, she says Russia helped with U.S. with World War II and lost millions of people. They have a parade for 2 days about it. That war in the U.S., you hear crickets. And then she says, "Hey Christian, did they have a protest last night about Botham Jean's death by the police officer?"
Oh, I don't know. Most likely, I would imagine. I saw today that I was watching CBS. Go figure. And I saw
you traitor.
It was on. It just on.
I'm just kidding.
And I saw that people complaining about the bums and the homeless people. I should say, not the bums. The homeless people in the Bronx that are kind of squatting in this one town. No mention about affordable housing. No mention of homeless shelter. It's just like, oh, these people are causing a ruckus. Blah blah. There's needles everywhere. No mention of getting these people some help. Treating it as a health issue instead of a criminal issue. Nothing like that. Just complaining about the issue. It's the same thing going back to hypocrisy. Whether it's Europe with all the Africans, Middle Easterners coming, or here with all the South Americans, Central Americans, and Caribbeans coming. It's the same thing. If you don't want them coming, then don't fuck up their countries. Don't sanction them to death. Don't abuse the hell out of the workers there and put them in these third world living and working conditions.
Flood drugs and weapons to their countries.
Don't flood drugs, weapons in countries. Don't
force regime change.
Regime change, right? And install dictators like Pinochet, Trujillo. The list goes on and on and on and on.
Mm-hmm. And why would you expect all these immigrants to love us? It's like, hey, you guys all support your troops and your politicians who want war and want to control all of us. But eventually, they do seem to, at least in America, they seem to fit in the melting pot pretty good. I mean, they just become distracted like the rest of everybody. They start watching the Hispanic version of they got Univision. They have their own methods of control, and then they get really big into politics, especially Republicans, very conservatives, a lot of the immigrants, and then very religious, a lot of Catholics for the Hispanic immigrants that come over. So you got a lot of methods of control for all these immigrants that come into the U.S. So it really doesn't matter too much in the U.S. I guess they could do that same thing in Europe. I don't know what it is about Europe that makes them do a lot more terrorism than anyone else. I mean, in the U.S., we don't see them causing that much terrorism, local terrorism, whatever that term is called. Like mass rape and things like that.
Oh,
excuse me, sorry.
That's all right.
Oh man. I may not go on very long tonight just because of this cough and
the cough. Oh, I understand, man. Have you been drinking a lot of tea?
No, just water. I probably should drink tea. I've got a lot of tea. It's just I feel like I waste it. Like when I make tea, I make like there's a big pitcher, so I put it to max water level. I put the tea in there. I'll drink as much as I can. Sometimes I won't get to it, and then with the leftover leaves, I try to drink it all within like 2 hours. I'll put it back in. and boil it more, but twice as long. So I'm using the entire tea leaves, and
Right.
you know, you don't get as much of the you don't get as much of the vitamins, the minerals, or the caffeine from it if there is caffeine, but there's still plenty left that you can boil away that to that second pitcher full of tea. But I feel like I just wasted, like I can't, sometimes I can't even finish that first batch. But I think you know, I've gotten to that point where I try to maximize everything that I have to the longest extent as possible.
Right.
You know, because the
economy of motion, economy of usage.
Yeah, just be as efficient as you can be. Try not to waste. Like if it's like martial arts types of philosophy, don't waste movement. Also, just
efficiency.
Yeah, efficiency. Like I would love to, like some of the cardboard boxes, they can be used for gardening and stuff, or compost, not just recycled or reused for shipping. I think what I used for yours and Eric is just reused cardboard and just cut it up, tape it up, and that works.
It looks fine, man.
Yeah. So
the sign. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just saying that the only problem is it takes up room. So until I'm actually using it, it just creates clutter.
Yeah, like this sign is from cardboard from a shipping box from the post office. I don't know if you could see it.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, I didn't. What? My first print. That. That. I think it's that Unity for J. One of those is So in these the Red River ones, they or actually almost any like photo printer that has some form of the gloss.
The gloss.
Yeah. They'll put the front and back of all the stacks of photo paper with cardboard. But one of them I didn't know because it felt thick like the rest of them, so I printed it on the cardboard and I didn't realize it. And I was like, this print paper kind of sucks. And then I turned it over. It's like, oh, it's cardboard. Excuse me. Yeah. So, Shirley says, that is what fucks me up. People complaining about immigrants, and we are fucking up their countries. They have no choice but to migrate to our country. You know, as much as some of the bad things about reaching out through the internet to find people, rather than, because what I would love, what I was wanting to do with this format is find people with differing perspectives and talk. But what instead we found are people with that stick around are the ones with the same perspectives, and that can be a dangerous thing. But it's also a good thing because, you know, what are the odds of finding someone with in a very rare type of perspective? You know, the same perspective with different people, different backgrounds. Like I'm a Asian male, you're a Hispanic male, Charlotte's a black female. We kind of all share the same perspective. It's like people in normal world would be like, how the hell did that happen? You guys are supposed to like form your own perspectives within some type of coalition or something.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, and that's.
I don't think Hispanics would associate when they think Hispanics. I don't think they would think of someone that looks like me though.
Oh yeah.
Fortunately, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, probably the same thing with me. It's like, I don't know. I don't think you look or talk Asian enough, Ebon. You should consider yourself Asian.
Yeah, man.
It's okay. Oh.
Like, dude, like you were talking about the other night how you got misidentified as Mexican.
Oh, yeah.
I get identified as the wrong thing all the fucking time. Are you Jewish? Are you Egyptian? Are you Moroccan? Are you Portuguese? Are you Dutch? Are you German? Are you Irish? Are you Italian? Are you Palestinian? Are you this? Are you that?
Yeah. It's like, in a way, it's like, what does it even really matter? I mean, are we going to talk about Korean stuff? It's like, if I was Chinese, are we just talking about Chinese stuff? I mean, is there like a topic conversation based on my ethnicity?
Yeah, mahjong. You talk about mahjong
Yeah, we
all
could
day.
talk about mahjong or whatever. Yeah. I don't think I've played mahjong. I think I might have tried it. Like, you know how early in the days, like the Windows 2000 or something, they had like mahjong with like
Chess. Yeah.
like basic versions of games and
At checkers. I never tried mahjong. I think. Oh no, wait. I might have one time, and it was on a Windows PC.
yeah.
Might have. Yeah, I was probably like.
But I still don't understand how to
7 years
play
old.
it because I think I just kept clicking on tiles until like it would move, and once it's stuck, is like, okay, I'm doing the right thing, but I don't know what the hell I was doing. I was just clicking into, okay, that one looks right. It moves to the center and it stays there. It's like, okay, I'll click on the next one.
Yeah, a trial by fire.
Trial by fire, yeah. It's like I'm one of those people who see an instruction manual. And I look at the instruction manual and I was like, I don't want to read this. And I just look at the pile of pieces and I was like, I can figure this out. And my wife's just like shaking her head. It's like,
Yeah, I think we're all guilty of that every now and then.
I mean, who wants to read an instruction manual? I mean, those things are the most boring, and sometimes they're bad. So I just avoid it if I can. But sometimes you can't. Sometimes the pieces are just too much. You know, it's like, how do I make a table out of that? You got all these jutting pieces and curves, and it's like, really? Why can't they just make it a table out of just normal, easy pieces?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, why can't they just make a table out of Legos?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that they have, Lego furniture.
Oh, but those things must hurt to fucking sit on, man. Can you imagine?
But you can have Legos with like cushions. So after you put them all down, you put the Lego pieces with the cushions on it, so it's just comfortable. You can do it. I'm pretty sure if I ever got hired by Lego to do stuff, I would create Lego furniture, and it would be a big hit. And then the thing is like, hey, how do you make it so it's comfortable? You just add cushions to it, and then you just push it in, and there you go. It's like that would be like the, hey, if Lego is watching, at least hire me part-time.
Yeah, think about it. Customizable furniture. You could have a chair be a certain way one day.
Yeah, you can have a tall chair. You can spread it out.
Yeah, you can make it into a stool. Turn into a table.
Hey, we just need to form our own business. We'll just call it the.
Fuck it, yeah.
We can't use Lego. We'd have to use another term.
Ego.
I don't know, something. But that's a good idea. I mean, great ideas. People watching. I don't know, like 5 people that are watching. Hey, you guys don't steal our ideas. I mean, because I had that same idea with shoes. Because like shoes wear out so fast that what I wanted to do if I ever had the means and time and care or whatever to make money or shoes is you have like 5 pieces of a shoe. You've got the sole, you've got the bottom layer for traction, you've got the connective layer where just all of them, it's like the motherboard of a shoe, so they all have to fit in, and then then you have your back and the heel, your back part, and then you've got your front slash like ankle if you want it bigger, like a boot. So basically you have interchangeable parts. So if you, instead of buying a whole new shoe for like $100, you just buy each interchangeable part that you need or want to be replaced for something like $20. So it's like oh, I love the shoe, but I don't want to buy a new one. It's like, well, the outer layer is just dirty. The heel and the bottom layer is good. Everything else is good. So why throw that away? It's like you keep that. You just change the part that's bad. And then like fashion is like, oh, the shoe's out of fashion. It's like everything else is good. You just change the outer layer, so it just has a different color or it has a different type of material. I mean, I just feel like that's a better idea. Kind of less waste because you just don't really throw away just shoes that have other parts that are fine. You just, it's like one part of a shoe. Like if you get one hole at the bottom of your shoe, you throw it away. Or if you got like a little thing in the back heel, or you sometimes people like me, I'm a bad example where I'll put a shoe on where shoelace is already tied. I just slip it on. And that just makes the back end of the shoe bad. And then eventually they were way quicker, and then you just throw the whole thing away. It's like,
all right.
Back then they used to have shoe repair people. My father was one, and you would just take apart a piece of the shoe, and you'd fix it up, and person has their shoe fixed. Instead of buying a new shoe for $50, you had it repaired for like $10. So
and he would teach Taekwondo on the side, right?
He started with that for in exchange for learning English, and then he worked as a janitor during the nights, and then I think he took some courses after he learned English for being a like some type of technician or like mechanic slash technician. He worked at like some airline business, and then he got a job at Boeing over in Washington State. So that's when we moved from Texas.
Number one employer.
Yeah. And then he but like in between that, like he did a couple of his own businesses. Like one I fondly remember, he as a shoe repairman. I don't know where he learned to just become a shoe repairman. But I guess it was pretty decent business. And then next door was a 7-Eleven. I used to just go there all the time and eat like these cheese hot dogs and stuff like that. I remember that. Those are good times, and ices and stuff. And then but every time my parents would save up enough money where we could be secure for like a decade or 2 decades, or they could save for retirement, they'd go on this big trip to Las Vegas and they'd lose it all.
Oh.
Yeah. And they'd come back and we'd be living poor again. But we know how to live poor. Once you've been poor and you live by like, you just, I don't know, you're like a scrub, you're a straggler. I don't know what that exact term is, but you scrape by. You're a scrapper or scraper, whatever. Yeah, it's like, we can live through this. This is easy. Just beef jerky and ramen and rice all day and night, and spam. we don't need any of the good stuff. We just get the hearty stuff that makes you full. Yeah, and then they would go back. They'd go out of business. He'd work at whatever, save enough money, and then start their own business, make a lot of money, go to Vegas, lose it all, business ends, go back to working for someone else. Yeah,
it's a vicious cycle.
Yeah, I wonder how much my brother's life would have changed, even my parents, if they never did that. Like if they're just more, I don't know, disciplined, yeah. And I think that's another issue is they'll teach you a lot of things in school, how to make the money. They don't teach you jack shit about keeping the money.
Yeah, yes.
They don't teach you discipline at all. They go, this is how you make money. Go have fun. It's like, I got so much money. Oh, I'm buying that. I'm buying that. I'm buying that. Oh, and then all of a sudden, things get worse. Yeah.
Speaking of those spiders that you were talking about the other night, I found this huge spider like the size of my thumb out on my balcony. He made this huge web, or she, huge web. I was looking at it, wait, is that for real? Or is that, did somebody put that? Is that a fake spider? And I was like, no, it's a
Yeah.
real thing. I've never seen a spider that big before.
Oh yeah. I've always been around
In
big
person,
ones.
at least.
There's some cool ones. There's a big spider at the corner outside of my door, and there's one over here. But like, it's a thick, heavy spider web. I mean, they put work into their spider web. I mean, it's just like a heavy blanket of spider webbery. And I don't like it, but because it starts collecting dust and whatnot, and piles of like dead flies and beetles and insects, and so eventually I tear it up, clean it up, but I won't kill the spider. The spider will pretty much just hide, scuttle away, and then they'll build a new one. It's like all I did was just tear down your old dilapidated home so you could build up a new one. Maybe it's a symbiotic relationship, because the spider's not going to catch any more flies if there's not enough room for the flies to get caught on the web. So I clean it all up. You know, they build that new web and they catch more of the bugs, so I don't have to get bit or walk around on dead bugs. It's all collected on the spider webs. And that's how I see it. I think it's a good thing. People hate spiders, but you know what? Flies bite me more than spiders ever did. I don't think spiders ever really bit me.
Ryan could use some more spiders.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be different if I knew that I got like really, really poisonous spiders, like a orb weaver or black widow or something that could really, really hurt my kids or something. But I haven't seen them, so I kind of like them until they become a nuisance. I mean, the basement is so full of things that everything just compounds so fast. Crickets, flies, spiders, beetles. I've seen them all, but it's not like it's Indiana Jones Temple of Doom. As long as it doesn't get there, I'm okay.
Or like the Temple and the Mummy with the scarabs.
The scarabs. Yeah. You know, if there was enough of them, like if there were like maggots and stuff like that, I'm one of those people that would, rather than killing those maggots, I would put them in a box, bowl or whatever box, and put it in the fridge and use it for fishing bait. I'm always like, oh yay, jackpot! It's like. Because if you try to buy any of that stuff at a store, it's gonna cost a couple bucks. It's like, I just found a gold mine, and I can't wait till my kids are a little bit older and they enjoy fishing more. Is like we'll go and forage. Oh, and also hunting, because what even though if we don't hunt anything to kill, there's plenty of good mushrooms around here to eat, edible mushrooms, and I can't wait till they're older and would want to go out and just explore. And if we don't get anything to hunt, that's fine. But if we forage for stuff, I mean, where I was fishing, there are a lot of cattails. You know, we could have stripped off our cattail and just eat the.
Oh, like a catfish?
No, cattail. It's a cattail. Is it plant? Yeah, it's a plant that grows in aquatic.
Oh, it's like a weed? Yeah.
In a way, yeah. You know, it's got that tail-like thing.
It's brown at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I mean, they're not very good. but there are some good edibles around, right?
You're talking about the special shrooms, huh?
Well, no, I never cared about the special shrooms. Like I had a friend of mine in high school that was just all about finding special shrooms. I like the shrooms where it tastes good to eat. I'm an eater person, right? I don't want to go and have these weird hallucinations. You know, it's
You don't
different
want the Venus to visit the reptilians.
you know, if it's a conscious experience, like a consciousness experience, I'm all for that. But if it's just like something warps your brain, and you're just hallucinating things, and you know, you get no experience, like tangible experience out of it, I don't care for it. I know if I want to do that, I'll just watch like a trippy movie or something like that. It's like, you know, it doesn't feel good. The after effects, you know, you just get tired or something, hungry, and you're out of it for like a day or two. And I like being productive. I don't know.
And you're somewhere where you somehow find yourself in a place where you have no idea how you got there.
I never had that happen.
Like you start in the living room, and then for some reason you're like in your friend's bathroom.
You've had that experience?
No, man, I've never tried anything, man. I just got done telling.
Yeah, I know, but like, okay, I know. I was just wondering, when did that happen?
No, but you hear about those kinds of stuff.
Oh.
Like people like they're at a party and they do something like that, and the next thing you know, they're in the middle of the woods.
Oh.
It's like,
yeah.
How'd you end up at a party where you're drinking and stuff like that, to where like you're naked in the middle of the woods? Yeah. What the hell happened? What happened between A and Z? What happened there?
The weird stuff is when people just start mixing stuff, just household stuff,
oh yeah.
I don't know, just to see if you get a different experience, or just mix it up a little.
Well, yeah, you'd fucking die. That's your different experience right there.
Yeah. I mean, you remember hearing about that thing where people are eating other people? They're like naked and they're trying to eat them. They become like human zombies. You never saw that?
I heard something about that. Yeah.
Well,
there are cannibals that are in Papua New Guinea, I think. Like there's actual cannibals in Papua New Guinea.
Sounds like a fun place to visit. Like, hello. It's like, would you like to come over for dinner? I think we're gonna have Asian food.
Oh my god.
I'm like, oh yeah, I like Asian food. Do you have rice?
They are in Asia, so yeah.
Yeah.
Technically Asian.
Or maybe they'll have Mexican food. Hey, how's it going, Eric?
Hey, Eric.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good. All right. Let me hold my phone real quick. Hold on.
Right back. Yeah.
There we go.
How have you been, Eric?
Been doing pretty good. How about yourselves?
Getting there.
Feeling better though?
Not really. I cough a lot.
The lingering cough, yeah. That takes a while to go away. It sucks.
Yeah. Let's see. I want to see what's up with that DLive. Looks like it's up now.
Oh yeah, I have to show you guys something. I got it from Hard Bastards store.
Sure.
Okay.
The David Pakman shirt.
Oh my god. They should have one for Sham Cedar. Remember that, Ebon? Sham Cedar?
Yeah, Sham Cedar.
Yeah, I call him shit triggered Cedar because he's like a triggered one.
Yeah, he did another video on Jimmy Dore again, blasting Jimmy Dore. I think it was yesterday or today I saw.
Nah, he's a divider, like Sham Cedar. He's a divider.
No, I'm talking about Sham Cedar. He's talking crap about Jimmy Dore.
Yeah, you know what? His show Majority Report is a fucking sham.
Yeah. How do
it's sham news.
I don't get. I guess they just they try to connect with the base, and that's how they get their following. I take it, right? I mean, even and you can see it in the commentator world, in YouTube, independent media, whatever you want to find it. It's a different flavor, right? You hardly have two people who are exactly the same. You've got a couple people, they're just slightly the same. They just tweak a little bit, you know, and so I think that's the trick. And my fear, not fear, my worry is that, you know, they just become a pawn of the system and just like a extension of the mainstream media. It's like, hey, people who kind of start waking up, they go to there, and then they'll wake up a little bit more, maybe they'll go somewhere else, and then it's all feeding into the same fear / entertainment where you're just, okay, let's just get popcorn while the world burns, you know.
Yeah. Hold on, my cat.
But yeah, it's tough. I don't know. Any new games on the horizon, Eric?
Nah. New games. Well, in October I might get the remake of Luigi's Mansion on the GameCube, but it'll be ported to 3DS. I might get it.
Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah,
Where
for the GameCube. Oh, it's a
new Mario.
Well, Mario's kidnapped in the game.
Oh, okay. Huh. Hey, finally Luigi gets to be in the spotlight. Nice.
He was in the spotlight since 2001.
He was?
Even the game.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm the old school. I think like in 1985 with the original Mario Brothers, and then the Super Mario Brothers, and then Super Mario World, maybe like 1 through 5, and the racing game. And after that, I think I don't know where the Mario Brothers went. Because I'm serious, Mario was the forerunner. He always you know, Mario and Luigi. It was always Mario and Luigi. And now it's Luigi because Mario's out of the picture. Good for Luigi for a little while. And they should make it Luigi and Mario. I don't know. I'm just...
Oh, what else was there? I'm trying to think. What was the first game? Oh, it was Mario is Missing. That's the first game where you could play as Luigi. I have to go back and actually think. Oh, it's like, oh wait, Mario is Missing is the first Luigi game, but not like, you know, a platformer. It's more as like you have to go and research and do your research unlike it's not a platform game. Well, kind of plays like a platform, but not really.
Have you ever played the original Super Mario Brothers, or just the Mario Brothers, where you start off at the bottom and then you got that middle thing where it's like gives you like a super, it bumps everything, and so basically they come out of the tunnels and you just try to get past that stage.
Yeah.
So me and my brother, rather than teaming up, we've always been competitive, but he starts it. Instead of trying to work together to get through all the stages and get like high score, his goal would be to try to kill me. Like you can't kill each other in the game, but you can push each other, or when you're under the person, you can jump up and bump that person up to like another.
Oh, Mario Brothers.
Yeah,
that's
Mario
who you're
Brothers,
talking
not
about.
the Super Mario. Yeah. So the entire games we would just be trying to kill each other or force each other to die by manipulating the environment. I just thought that was fun.
I have like
that's insane because I work together with people on that game.
Yeah.
Or you have like in first-person shooters where people like come up to you with a grenade and then just hold it, and everybody dies.
Yeah. you get a lot of griefing going on in a lot of those games. Eventually, you know, some people will just get tired and they'll just do that, and they don't. I mean, it's not like you get banned for the game for doing that. Sometimes you just get like a timeout. But like if you're gonna go to bed for that night, you just go and do that in a friendly game and get your kicks, and then you leave. What my brother used to do was like you can shoot people in the leg and you won't kill them. And the thing is, like the developers would penalize people who kill people. But what he would do is people he didn't like, he would just shoot them so their health is low, but he wouldn't kill them, so he would never get penalized. And people would be like, "Who shot me?" Yeah, my brother's really good at stuff like that. He's a psychological. He likes to use psychology against people. What another great one tactic he uses is he would flood their ego. So he doesn't try to win just based on individual performance. He likes to manipulate the other person to get them to lose or put them into a spot where like for example, like I would play a game against this kid. Is one of my brother's friends' nephew, and we were playing Call of Duty, like World 2 or whatever it is, and so or 3, and it was like it's my first time playing, and it was a console, so I wasn't very good with the controller, but you know I was losing and then winning, and it's like I don't want to beat him, I want to just tie. So, but he at the very last second found me and shot me. I could have killed him earlier, but he found me and he shot me and killed me, and he won. It's like, man, why'd you just let him win? It's like I was trying to tie. But my brother, on the other hand, he played him. He got whooped. He got like 0 kills. The kid got like 25 or something, and so he's like, oh, I could beat you the next match. And the other kid, the kid was like, no, I'll just crush it like I just did now. So they played again, but this time they played with bots, and you know, based on kills and whatever. My brother would just go after the other bots and get the easy kills, while the kid would just try to find him and waste time. So what my brother would do is flood the ego and say, "You're so good, you know, maybe you should have like a handicap. I mean, if obviously you're better than me," and so people would handicap themselves, you know, because they think they're so much better. And my brother is one of those who just kind of like the rope-a-dope. He just kind of like feigns like playing bad. He just wants to understand how the person thinks, maneuvers, and whatever. So he's analyzing how the person is the first game and loses, and that way he understands how he could beat them second game, third game, fourth game, etc. And so he also uses the ego trick where they'll start they beat them so bad that first time that they'll handicap themselves, and so yeah, I'll handicap myself, I'll make it fair. And then they get killed, and then the thing is, their psychology is so bad, is so messed up, because they thought it was so easy, and they realize it's so hard. So their normal behavior of playing a game just kind of goes 180. So if they were aggressive, they start being more holed up and cautious. My brother would just pick them apart, because in most of those games, the more aggressive you are, the better. So I learned a lot from my brother in that regard. I always thought we make an interesting dynamic, because he used the psychology and everything like that, but I used more analytical and something that hasn't been done, or something that people aren't expecting type of thing. So whenever I play my brother, since he can't. I mean, as a kid, he used to beat me through the psychological tricks, but as I grew up, he wouldn't beat me very much at all, because I would just keep doing things that he didn't expect, because he's basically putting his money on someone just utilizing what they're good at and keep doing it, while me, I would just habits, and I would just break habits all the time, and he get pissed. And he wouldn't just get pissed at me, he'd get pissed at my friends, because I would play with my friends, you know, we'd all do like a free-for-all. And I keep killing my friends. He goes, Ebon, or he told my friend, stop getting killed by Ebon, come after me. So my brother, what he does, he has this habits too though, is I would kill him and he would respawn real quick and he would try to find me. He said I would position myself where I knew he was going to come back to try and kill me. And I would kill him. And then I would reposition myself again and he would come back trying to kill me. So instead, he would just go after my friend. So all I would do is I'd find my friend, I'd see my brother kill him, then I kill my brother. It's great having, it's bad and it's great having a competitive older brother. And I think that's why, you know, in the real world, because it's so competitive and cutthroat, that's how I did so well. Is I just see the habits and I utilize the same thing I did in games. You know, my brother had his way using his psychological tricks. I did mine with just doing things where being creative, being able to do things that people aren't able to do. And therefore I find my niche. My brother's got his niche, and it's easy to figure out the system. It's no different than a video game, which is the weirdest thing. I mean, it's such a weird thing. Maybe we are living in a matrix.
Yeah, he was just saying like you kill him one time with the sniper, and the next time you go after him and you knife him.
Yeah.
He's like, what?
Yeah, just switch things up. He's expecting, you know, a certain gun, certain range, etc. It's good.
And then you kill him with a claymore.
Yeah. My brother though, because before like me and my friend were really good, and we used sniper rifles all the time. My brother though, he's good at maneuvering, so he just have a shotgun, and we have sniper rifles, and he would just kind of time our shots, you know, because it would take a little bit of time, and then to pull the trigger, he would just be kind of like strafing left, right, going forward, all the time going forward. So we'd get like 2-3 shots before he got up close enough range to kill us. And so he would keep killing us that way, because by the time we zoom in with our scope to steady our shot, he would just move, and then we'd get killed. So what me and my friend did was we would just practice with the ordinary non-scoped rifles, and he wouldn't be able to do that to us. And so we got so good at using just the bolt action rifles, you know, which people think are the worst in the game. We would just get like one shot head kills or 2-shot body kills, and people would be pissed, like, how can you hit us from so far? It's like we just look and we go because a sniper would have to kind of sit there and they'd have to aim, right? And they get that one shot, but we could get in 2-3 good aim shots with the normal rifle, and we could be moving while we're doing it, and people didn't realize that. So it's just the game mechanics that we took advantage of. But the memorable ones is like we would know we would be facing each other in like a free-for-all or a team match if they were on the other team. It's like we would normally kill people in like first shot, second shot, but when we face each other, it's like we keep missing, they keep missing us, because we're always moving while we're shooting. It's like we use our full clips, then we switch to our handgun, we use the full clips, and then we tried knifing each other. And we were like, we know at that moment when the first clip is gone that that it's one of us. It's either my brother, me, or my friend. This is because normal people wouldn't maneuver that way. This was back in the 90s, 2000s, where first-person shooters weren't like they are now. But people have gotten better. Kids have gotten a lot better at playing the games. The only bad thing is they haven't really gotten better at tactics. They've just gotten better at moving around and aiming, and you know, the reflex movements.
Yeah.
But it's funny how that is, because it's always the young kids. We can't compete in the reflex because kids just have that quicker reflex. the young people. So the older people have to use their brains. It's just like in boxing when Muhammad Ali got older, he had to fight a different way. Just like a couple other different fighters, a lot of fighters, they had to just change the way they fight because they can't keep up physically.
Yeah, man.
Do you guys have siblings?
Yes.
I do, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
How many in age difference?
2 brothers and a sister.
Oh, wow.
Wow, I didn't know you had that big of a family, Eric.
4. I'm the youngest.
I have a little sister.
Cool.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a lot of fond memories of playing video games with my friends. We should play a lot of first-person shooters, Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I
Now,
remember staying up late at night, playing zombies.
do you take it easy on your sister when you play against her? Like, do you let her win sometimes, or do you always...
I don't even play video games anymore.
Yeah. But when you did...
No.
No. You just...
No, I wouldn't take it easy at all.
That's good. I always thought about that as a kid when I was growing up. It's like when I'm... Like, for my kids, yeah, I would ease up. I know exactly how hard I would need to play in order to win. But I don't want them to give up so easily. Because there are certain people that they just will stop playing because they just see that level of difference, and it's like, oh, now you're just playing around, or oh, you just let me win. It's like, no, I just want to play the game. So I'll get to the point where I know exactly how much I need to do to make it close, to tie or win or slightly lose, and that's how I always have the games played.
Right.
As a kid, I used to do the total opposite. I would either win outright and just the fastest, most brutal way, and then I realized that wasn't always good. So I would go to the other end, and I would just kind of like, have them kill me, but not make it challenging. So now I just kind of fuse them together. It's like I make it more challenging for them, so they enjoy it. Because a lot of people don't enjoy not being challenged. But then, I would make it so I don't win brutally, or I don't, just
dominate.
Yeah, dominate or just lose on purpose. But try hard enough just to win if I can. But if I don't, whatever. It's a weird when you get older, just the way things just change. But I always wonder if there are like people who just don't change. Like my brother used to be cutthroat, always dominate no matter what. He would get angry at me or yell at his friends saying, "Why did you do this? You should just done this." Was like he would yell at his boss who he played games with and tell him he's an idiot. Yeah, this is different environment, but yeah. I'm like, wait, isn't that his boss? I'd be cracking up, me and like other people who were playing, and like because they're just so into the games and competition and winning.
Winning.
Yeah, winning. But it was weird. Like last couple of years, he's kind of been my way. He's like, he doesn't care if he wins anymore. He's like, yeah, I don't need to win all the time.
Oh man, yeah, it used to be fun.
Yeah,
I remember those days.
So how's your sister with what is she like? Pretty activistic, or is she just kind of going through the system right now with like school and work and settling, figuring things out?
Yeah, the latter. She's not really an activist or anything like that.
How does she view the things that you do? Because I always think it's a weird family dynamic.
Honestly, I don't know. I think she just...
It's just what my older brother does. That's...
Yeah.
end of conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
What about your siblings, Eric?
Yeah.
What do they think about the things that you do?
They're completely cool with it.
Yeah, that's pretty good. But are they activists in any way, shape, or form as well?
No.
Yeah. Do they play a lot of games?
I mean, they used to play video games back then, but like nowadays, I don't know if they really do play video games because I don't talk about the subject of video games that much.
Yeah. What? I would think that would be like the number one thing. We could probably talk about games all the time, Eric. You and me. Probably not as much. I think you definitely went more the Sega way. I more went the PlayStation, Xbox way. But Nintendo. I mean, did I say Sony? I meant Nintendo.
You said Sega.
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 Oh man. Why did I say Sega? I meant Nintendo.
It's okay. I still think it's funny.
I'm actually thinking about getting back into video games just for the new Super Smash Bros. That's coming out. I'm thinking about getting was it a Wii U or Switch?
Switch.
Switch, yeah.
What's the difference with the new Smash Brothers? Is that the one where like win big money and you're shooting all these guys with the?
Oh no, that's no
Smash TV.
No. Super Smash Brothers is a fighting game. Yeah, like Mario.
It's where Nintendo. I like to say it this way: it's where Nintendo characters beat the shit out of each other.
Oh, kind of like Capcom versus Marvel type of thing. Instead, it's
kind of
not entirely like that.
It's just with Nintendo game characters that they fight each other.
Yeah, but they
I never even knew about that.
But in Super Smash Brothers Brawl, they threw in Sonic. They threw in Sonic from Sonic the Hedgehog and Snake from Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. And they also have Ryu from Street Fighter in there as well.
Do they have Link?
And Pac-Man. Not David Pac-Man, but Pac-Man. They have Bayonetta. They have Cloud. Final Fantasy.
How would Pac-Man fight? Pac-Man would just chomp. It's like, does Pac-Man do anything else?
Oh, he
Maybe
fights.
Spin and roll. Does he have like hands and legs?
Yeah.
Oh, come on! They could
not
be
first appearance Pac-Man. We're talking about like more modern Pac-Man.
Oh, okay. It would have been awesome if it was just normal Pac-Man with different moves.
Waka. Yeah, like that exactly.
Oh, okay. Oh man.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking like that's got to be the most simplistic character to fight with. Bite, roll.
He actually uses he's a pretty fun character though to play as.
He looks fun. I never got to play. I only got as far as Brawl, and then I stopped.
The 3DS and the Wii U one only good for multiplayer, really.
Yeah.
But no ice climbers in there. It's like one of the main criticisms about the one for 3DS and Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
They had no fucking ice climbers in it. Fuckers.
Yeah, I'm interested because it's just brings back a lot of good memories. I have a lot of good memories playing the second one.
Melee?
Yeah, that's my favorite one out of all the ones I've played. And just having all those characters now like coming back and all the new ones, it's like, oh my god.
I'm actually glad the whole entire roster is going to be on Switch Ultimate.
Yeah.
Like, I'm actually glad that, people like other Smash Brothers characters from the ones that didn't get brought to Brawl or 3DS/Wii U one. Same
Yeah.
thing with Brawl. Because Wolf from Star Fox was he was actually out of like between, you know, it's like, oh, I like to choose Fox. Oh, I like to choose Falco. I like to choose Wolf. Because I thought he was an awesome character, and then I was hoping that he would be brought back, you know, in the 3DS Wii U one, but however, they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they brought back Roy. They brought back Lucas.
Yeah.
They should bring back really old arcade characters like Double Dragon and Golden Axe. Remember Golden Axe?
Yeah, I know what that is. Yeah.
I'd play those games if they had those characters.
Yeah, they were named like, was it Billy and Bobby Lee? And they're white guys, they're the whitest guys ever.
Nowadays the SJWs are like, oh, it's not diverse enough. This game is racist.
Yeah,
it's sexist. It doesn't have any women in it. Only when they're kidnapped.
And they did the movie too. And the movie.
Oh, I remember that they made a movie. I never watched those movies because I knew they'd be horrible.
Just like the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh my god!
Oh, yeah, those are bad too.
God. The only good video game movie I think that's ever been released is the first Mortal Kombat movie.
It was okay. It was still silly.
It's probably the best.
Decent.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know that there's been a video game movie that was pretty good. I can't. Let me see.
Oh, there was a movie about video games. What was it? The Wizard. Like, there's like this like one kid who's like a super genius at like playing video games, and he's like, you know, small.
Oh. We have Wreck-It Ralph.
And they go to California to like a gaming competition.
Right.
Yeah, it was a good movie. I mean, probably some people just don't like it though, but that's fine. I mean, you can like whatever you want.
I thought Warcraft was okay. I think it could.
I thought so too.
I think it could have been better, but it wasn't bad. Like I remember when I was excited about that first Final Fantasy movie, The Spirits Within. That was the most boring, worst movie I've ever seen.
I never even heard of it until now. You just said it.
I went to sleep while watching it.
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh, this is like okay. I could snooze to this."
But if you watch the other, I think there are two other follow-up Final Fantasy. Yeah, those are really good.
Oh, Advent Children is great.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. Yeah. That was such an awesome movie, including the extended edition. Yeah. That was awesome.
I remember I used to be in watch a lot of good animes too. I don't know any of the new ones, but I was big into that. Not the crazy
anime is like too industrialized these days. It's like, you know, it's like, you know, too flashy and very weeby.
Yeah.
Like, I like the term weeaboo though, because to me it's funny because I used to like that kind of, you know, stuff. I was like, oh my god. I was like, this is like too weeby for me. But you know what? I just like the term in general. I mean, it's like funny because, like, you know, people get so offended by that word. I'm like, it's just a fucking word. I was like, and plus, you know what? People, I mean, that's like, you know, one thing. You know, people shouldn't, you know, pro-clutch to like certain words like, you know, weeaboo because, you know. I mean, like, to me, if I was called a weeaboo, I would just sit there and just fucking laugh because I wouldn't care.
But that would be an anime of Chuck Norris. That would probably be the best anime ever. It's like the Chuck Norris adventures. You know, they have the Jackie Chan adventures. You should do the fucking Chuck Norris adventures. I don't know, just a random thought just popped up into my head right now. Like, you see Chuck Norris fight Saitama, One Punch Man, it turned into Two Punch Man. You saw people shooting at Chuck Norris, and the bullets will stop in midair and ask if they could hit him.
Has he made any movies lately?
No, I don't think so,
Nobody
man.
does.
But you know, the boogeyman checks his closet for Chuck Norris every night.
Let's see how much this
The
charges.
Chuck Norris memes went crazy.
43%.
Yeah.
Let's see.
43%.
Well, have you guys seen the new Rampage movie with The Rock? Is that any good?
No. I don't know.
Yeah.
Looked terrible.
Yeah. I wonder. I mean, it's not like that was like a
Super Mario Brothers.
yeah. I mean, all you did was just go psh, psh, and then you get like a firefighter and you go. There wasn't much to that game. But it was just kind of cool. You just destroyed tall buildings as huge mutant monsters.
Yeah, there was a lizard. There was a gorilla.
No, because like with me, I would be like one of those monsters. I just like I wouldn't eat the thing. I would just let it fall. Like I thought that like for satirical purposes. It's like, why don't they have that option in the game? Just let them drop.
Yeah, there's a
lizard.
lizard.
Mean, that would actually be funnier to me.
There's a
but
lizard.
Like in a dark morbid sense, like like if they add that into a game, but make it funny.
Go ahead, Bonnie. You want to say something?
Oh no, I was just trying to find out what that third animal was. There was
a wolf.
There was an ape, a lizard, a wolf. Yeah.
I always used to get upset, like when I was playing NBA Street, that there was no stab button. Like, how the fuck are you gonna call it NBA Street and you can't stab a motherfucker? Like, you fucking do triple dunks and shit. You jump up. You could take like Allen Iverson's like 6 feet, barely 6 feet. And he jumps 15 feet into the air.
Yeah.
He's doing triple dunks.
Yeah, you could be like Steve Nash or someone worse than that. Not worse. John Stockton. Yeah, you could be John Stockton and you could be doing a dunk. It's like, I've never seen John Stockton dunk. I think he dunked once or twice. But he'd always just lay up.
The only NBA Street game that I played was the one with Mario, Luigi, and Peach on the GameCube. Because they had like Mario and Luigi, Peach, and versus the NBA team. That was the only NBA Street game I actually ever played or even cared for.
Yeah.
And then they had NFL Street where you could run on walls.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Somersaults and front flips, like 420 front flips and shit over people.
I know people who still play Tecmo Bowl.
Oh,
they would. I think,
the NES game.
Yeah, I think they.
It's on the NES Classic Edition.
I think a lot of people who play it, they say you can't be these teams because they have plays or players that you can't stop. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tecmo Bowl is on this.
Wow. Nice.
Is that an original or no? I think that's that's a new version because that's small. That's way too small.
Yeah. Oh, I have. Ooh, who's joined?
Hi, Shirley.
Hey, Cheryl.
Hey, Shirley.
Hello, everyone.
How you doing?
Hello.
Shirley, the Philly Queen.
The Philly Queen.
Did you see Gillum's campaigning with Booker, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, and Hillary Clinton?
Yes, I just saw that.
The hooker, the dude, and the cunt.
OMG.
Who
he
is
is not a progressive. I believe the DCCC is backing him.
Wait,
he's gonna fucking lose big time in Florida. Hell, I'm in Florida, and I'm not voting for DeSantis or I'm not voting for Gillum. I'm actually voting for Bruce Stanley, and he's an independent.
He's agreeing.
Like he's an independent, but he does care about green issues, though.
That's good.
Well, that's good. You voting with your damn conscience like I did in the primary.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like with me, I knew Gillum is going to lose, especially being backed by the cunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what's she going out campaigning for people for? She is so arrogant, and she don't want to admit people hate her.
Oh, more people love her than hate her. Shirley, she's gonna be president in 2020. You know
Oh
it.
hell no!
You know it.
Unless they have it rigged.
Oh yeah, they're gonna have it rigged, of course. But they need her to win, because they're like 4 years behind because they didn't win.
I feel sorry for this country.
I feel sorry for the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said the country, the world. That mean the country.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for everyone.
Yeah. Everyone just needs a
And
back
that
scratcher.
Bolton and Mike Pence speaking about Venezuela, I'm like, Lord have mercy. And like Tim Black said tonight, he said, yeah, Obama went and invaded 7 other African countries,
Mm-hmm.
and he was smiling, going on Ellen DeGeneres. Nobody's saying anything. They don't know. The news is keeping people dumbed down. I thought my husband was awake, but he's still not now.
Oh, he's not? Oh, no.
You know, he's not. He tried to get in an argument with me the other night about Kavanaugh. He said, "Oh, no, a 4th woman came forward." I'm like, well, where the hell the Democrats dug her up from?
Hey, what are your thoughts on Bill Cosby, or your husband's thoughts on Bill Cosby?
Oh, well, he agreed with me on that. This is what's fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him tonight, I said, you know, we heard that speech, we heard snippets of it, and I was agreeing with some things he said in it, but I actually saw what he truly said. He was against the black community. It was like a white supremacist was talking about us, but he was black. And it was always rumored that he wasn't messing around with women like that. Richard Pryor's ex-wife put a video out saying he's a piece of shit. And Richard Pryor and his ex-wife was wild. They was going to them swinger parties, doing drugs. But she said he was a piece of shit.
I don't know, because there hasn't been any physical evidence of Bill Cosby, and there's been a lot. Did you know that Bill Cosby's son was murdered by an Israeli?
Oh yeah, I know about that.
Yeah, and he wanted to buy. He also wanted to buy NBC, and they go no.
No, he had a show that was going to come on NBC. He wasn't buying it. He had a show.
No, he was gonna raise money to buy NBC. I mean, he only had like, his net worth was like $200-300 million or something like that. But he was gonna raise additional money, like for a couple billion to buy NBC.
Just 200 million.
But at that time, NBC stocks had fell, and that's when he tried to buy shares in it, to buy it, and they told him no.
Yeah.
And then why would they wait? That was like, what, 15 years ago or something?
Yeah.
Why would they wait to bring this out on him, huh?
Yeah. Here's the thing is, like, I don't trust mainstream media, never have, never will.
No.
And so when they start touting him, all the rumors about and just focus on Bill Cosby, I think something is up. And then of all the 60 people that accused him, only one went to court, and her story kept changing a little bit, and she couldn't even get her story straight. And the mainstream media keeps saying that Bill Cosby admitted that he did all those things, but he never did. It's just,
yes, he did in his deposition.
Go watch his. Go read the deposition again. He never states that he admitted to rape.
Yes, he did.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did.
All right, here we're gonna have to go.
That first woman that got him, she was a lesbian, and he drugged her.
And he admitted that? He didn't admit that. He admitted that he gave her Quaaludes, but that he
in
didn't.
a deposition. The New York Times broke it I forgot what year it was, but you need to find that article. They have that. He admitted it. That's what put his nail in his coffin.
He admitted that he gave people Quaaludes. Quaaludes for back then.
So why would you give people Quaaludes?
Because a lot of people back then took cocaine, and it was afterwards you would take Quaaludes to just soften the after effects. Here, let me show you a video. Let me know what your thoughts are on it. It's half an hour, but
I'm black, and I don't believe Bill Cosby because I know what he said about our people.
Right,
he didn't care about our people.
I think he did, but here, let me show you this video. Let's talk about it right after. I kind of want to do a separate piece, but I want to wait till part 2 comes out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You'll have to watch it on YouTube or Facebook, Shirley.
I'm watching it.
Okay.
Log on to patreon.com/. I'm just.
He's guilty, and the comic legend, once known as America's Dad, now faces up to 30 years in prison.
Bill Cosby guilty today of 3 counts of aggravated indecent assault.
Bill Cosby found guilty on all counts.
80-year-old Bill Cosby was found guilty of drugging and sexually assaulting Temple University employee Andrea Constand. She left the courtroom beaming. In addition to Constand, 5 other women testified they were sexually assaulted by Cosby in past years. Several of his alleged victims were in tears after the verdict came down. The jury deliberated about 14 hours. Testimony lasted 12 days. The jurors who decided Cosby's fate consisted of 7 men and 5 women. Cosby quickly left the courtroom after the verdict was read.
We are very disappointed by the verdict. We don't think Mr. Cosby's guilty of anything, and the fight is not over.
Look, first off, you have to remember this was in the 70s. I'm old enough to remember the 70s. The 70s is a different time, right? The 70s, all had Coke spoons around their necklace. You go to the damn disco, the line is laid out on the table. Toot, toot, right? When you want to level out after a hit of cocaine, you get a Quaalude, right? So did he rape these? All of them said the same thing. We went to the room. Why would you go to the room of a known married man? Number one.
Me, they're down to anyways. So they're down to then they go back 30 years later and say, he raped me.
30 years. I don't understand that. I mean, that's like a mother robbing me. And then I wait 30 years to call the police. I got robbed.
30 years ago.
In 1984.
Right, because if you notice, there was no...
And it's him!
Because it's past the statute of limitations, so there's no criminal charge.
There is a systematic effort to destroy every black male entertainer's image. They want us all to have an actress by name. Kobe raped a white woman in Colorado. Dr. Cosby raped 37 and still counting. Nobody leaves this business clean. Michael Jackson, little white children.
Michael Jordan?
Michael Jordan gambled.
Right, and then his dad got killed.
You understand?
They tried to tie that.
You're not going to die clean.
A white racist system. Bill Cosby ain't got busted for what they said he got busted for. Who cares what the entertainer do? Entertainer, after you rape anybody you want, look at the colleges is in trouble, okay? Or they just look the other way. Bill Cosby, when he got his son was killed, is because him and Ed Weinberger was going to buy NBC. They say him, not you. Okay? And then if you look at that, and that's what research is important, the car that his son had the accident in, the flat, it had a reboot in it. No car in the world had it, but that was Mercedes. So that's why Bill probably went crazy. He know that's impossible. Now all you cars have it. And so consequently, now this next thing that's all, I got 7 daughters. Okay? I would never defend nobody. But I'm sitting and I'm looking, Bill Cosby, that land he got in Pennsylvania got more oil under than Kuwait. Well, how come you don't hear about that? Huh? That's what it's about. I spend millions of dollars for research. I dare somebody to ask me a question anywhere in the world. Okay? Because it's backed up. Truth don't have to be validated by ignorance.
It's quite obvious that something else is happening in today's society of America that millions of people have absolutely no idea of. It could be due to the lack of knowledge or the lack of fully understanding or the lack of even caring based from the underlying opinions of the situation at hand, publicly portrayed by the news media stations and newspapers and blogs, etc., as self-acclaimed factual allegations, which are somehow mistaken by the public as hard evidence in this case, of some alleged sexually abused victims. Now, don't get me wrong. If a person has proven beyond a reasonable doubt to have been sexually assaulted, abused, harassed, or even raped by an individual, I strongly concur that the individual in question should have the book thrown at them, locked under a cell in the middle of nowhere, with the key thrown away in the Pacific Ocean for safekeeping. And that's my edited version. However, if the evidence indicates the individual in question is not guilty beyond reasonable doubt, then that's a totally different story, which is exactly the reason why I created this video in the first place. Now, according to his recently updated Wikipedia page, William Henry Cosby Jr. is an American stand-up comedian, actor, musician, author, and convicted sex offender. Meanwhile, Carolyn Brandt's Wikipedia page has not been updated to label her as a deceiver, horrific liar, and a murderer of 14-year-old Emmett Till. In fact, her Wikipedia page was removed. Oh, and let's not forget that Carolyn testified in court that Emmett Till had allegedly harassed her in a grocery store, in which 52 years later she admitted in an interview with author of the book entitled The Blood of Emmett Till, named Timothy Tyson, that all of her story about Emmett was a blatant lie. So what's the big reason why Bill Cosby is being publicly bombarded with sexual assault and or rape allegations from some 30+ women? Let's start where it actually began. Now, back in the year of 1992, the New York Times ran an article entitled "Bill Cosby Trying to Buy NBC from GE," confirming that this wasn't just some rumor going around. Bill Cosby's personal agent of 30+ years and chief executive of the William Morris Agency, Norman Brokaw, discussed Dr. Cosby's intentions to make an offer to acquire NBC by having a formal business meeting with NBC's president, Robert C. Wright. When the meeting occurred in New York, Norman told the New York Times that he informed Robert that Bill Cosby is highly motivated and very interested in purchasing NBC. And Norman later stated that Robert said that NBC is not for sale, even though rumor had it that he was interested in selling it after lost revenue and ratings reportedly took a drastic turn for the worse during the past and possibly its forthcoming years. According to Norman and other sources, Bill Cosby's personal net worth was around $300 million in 1992. And he was set to make about $1 billion in royalties from reruns, etc. that same year. Back in 1986, the General Electric Company bought NBC from RCA for $6.5 billion, And at the time Bill Cosby wanted to purchase NBC, financial analysts said that NBC was estimated to be worth about $4 billion. But Cosby was ready, and over the course of nearly 2 years, Cosby gathered a team of wealthy investors willing to assist him with the purchase, and nearly all of them were Jews. But something or somebody or somebodies didn't want this deal to be made official, in which I'll get into this shortly. 2 years after his first and second attempts to purchase NBC, Cosby was interviewed in January of 1994, discussing the reasons why he failed to acquire NBC and the conspiracy surrounding the plot from higher-ups to censor good television. When detailing his opinion about that, Cosby stated that, quote, "TV recycles mediocrity. The Midwest is blamed for not being intelligent enough to understand quality writing. So you have these executives with business degrees telling writers with degrees in literature what to write for the, quote, dumb people." Then while describing what business and personal issues he was experiencing, Cosby went on to state that, quote, "There are times when bosses decide that a person has too much power. So they set in motion a whole bunch of people with one philosophy. Don't give him everything he wants because he's got too much power. He doesn't know everything and he'll go crazy. How did he get to be this star? We don't know, but we're gonna stop that right now. So they send in all these C-grade people," end quote. These frequent mishaps and bad business motives and agendas from networks that he alleges prompted Cosby to do the unthinkable, and that was an actor buying a network. Up to this point in time, Cosby made several bids to buy NBC, stating, quote, "What you have to understand is, I wasn't the only one. I was the only one as far as the press was concerned, and then finally they had named the other partners. The excitement of it was this entertainer, who was an African American, was out to try and raise money to run a network. And then it comes down to, can he run a network? Well, what is the question really?" The interviewer replied saying that most network heads are guys in suits and not performers. And then Cosby abruptly yelled, "They're white, that's the issue. What makes an entertainer any dumber than some executive? I mean, can you even tell me why they keep saying TV is the way it is? And now an entertainer decides to try and run a part of the network and he's gonna do worse? You tell me I can't run a network. Bring me an old wreck that's beat up and you say, you can't run this? The question should be, why would you want to? Power? Yes, but not just for power's sake. There are people, regardless of race, color, creed, who are not being seen, heard, mainly because they do not fit into their C-grade media mode," end quote. Ever since his popularity made him famous, Cosby tried to continue to portray the so-called copper-colored Americans in a positive lightness and manner throughout his various television shows. But he also continued to publicly address and criticize those networks, bosses, and critics for not shedding the proper limelight on his works, causing some to fail or not be seen as frequently as he would like, and the C-grade writers hired by the network bosses for not listening to him, but only writing what their bosses told them to write, bypassing the fact that Cosby is the executive producer of his shows. Cosby truly dreaded that